Our skin absorbs about 70% of what we put on it within 1 minute after we apply it. It's about half of the products that are out there for sunscreen are super toxic to us. Oh, get 100 SPF. It's absolutely paranoia. Check the safety and the score of your SPF, of your sunscreen, so you can see just how toxic or maybe non-toxic your sunscreen is. I hear so much information, I don't know what to do. Tonight we're going to invite you guys to do something about it. And then we're going to talk about safe, sexy skin made simple. We're going to talk about our best practices and which products to use, when and how to get the best sunscreen that actually adds to your beauty routine. Ooh la la. Got a really powerful agenda for tonight. And it is something that we all want to know what's going on in the world of toxicity and how to protect our skin and how to protect our most powerful, most exposed and highest absorptive organ, which is our skin. And our skin absorbs about 70% of what we put on it within 1 minute after we apply it. How many of you guys knew that? It's a trip. And what we're going to do in this video is inspire you and empower you to take action. So this video is not just to make you smarter human beings. This video is to actually make you guys human beings that take action now. Because if we're just learning stuff and we're not acting upon it, then we're really overwhelming our brains and overwhelming our systems to the point where like, I hear so much information, I don't know what to do. Tonight we're going to invite you guys to do something about it and to take action yourself, and then also to take action spreading this mission, spreading this word, because it's becoming a major issue. I'm going to share some of the statistics on how not choosing the right skincare ingredients and chemicals are harming not only us, but our planet and our poor ocean, and what that means for food. So tonight we're going to cover 5 things. We're going to cover the questions that I have in this post, and those 5 things are going over the sunscreen. So like, why does using a good one matter? Why is quality so important for people and the planet? That's number 1. We're going to talk 2 about, does increasing SPF in numbers really protect us more? So you guys are hearing like, oh, get 100 SPF. It's absolutely paranoia, and we're going to talk about that today. Then Dia's going to come on. We're going to talk about how to check the safety of yours. So if you're watching this now or later, we're going to challenge you to go into your cabinet, wherever your sunscreen is, and go grab it and have it handy, because in probably about 10 minutes, we're going to get to the point where Dia is going to walk us through exactly how to get on your phone or your computer to check the safety and the score of your SPF, of your sunscreen, so you can see just how toxic or maybe non-toxic your sunscreen is. Because what we found is that about half of the products that are out there for sunscreen are super toxic to us. And I'm going to talk to you about a little bit more about why that matters for our organs, and way more than that, our metabolism and our ability to lose weight, have the body that we want, have our hormones happy, and also be able to energize, because metabolism is governed by whether or not we are toxic or not. And so people, before you guys start thinking, oh, that's totally not me, it applies to all of us now. So then one main thing that's actually destroying the planet is toxicity by and large. And we're going to talk about the ban tonight too on some of these sunscreens that will no longer be allowed on the oceans of Hawaii. And that's probably going to start spreading over to California and other beaches, hopefully. So we're going to talk about that as number 3, how to check the safety of yours, which is a great tool for any other products as well. And then we're going to talk about safe, sexy skin made simple. We're going to talk about our best practices and which products to use, when and how. And the last thing we're going to talk about is how to get the best sunscreen that actually adds to your beauty routine. Ooh la la. So that's our agenda for tonight. And we're going to have to talk pretty quickly because we've got a lot to cover. So Dia, are you ready to start firing it all off? And I'm going to get on for the first topic.
Absolutely.
Cool. Okay. So here we go. The first question of, why does using a good sunscreen matter? And quality is important for the people and the planet. So I want to get into what's really going on in the heart of Mother Earth. Mother Earth, you want to look at the health of our people, look at the health of Mother Earth. And there are many people, policymakers, lawmakers that are seeing this now. And they're like, we have created toxicity and trash all around our planet. So the first thing I want you guys to know is that there has been a huge ban that was just passed in Hawaii a couple of weeks ago. And Hawaii lawmakers, they just made history. As of May 1st, which was almost a month ago, the Senate Bill 257-1 is officially in effect. And what this means is that starting in January 2021, the sale of sunscreens containing oxybenzone, again, if you have your product, hold on to it, see if it even has that word in it, and get ready to start checking for these things. There's 5 ingredients we're going to talk about today that have been banned officially from Hawaii. These will be banned throughout the state of Hawaii, making it the first in the United States to enact such a law. Can we get a what's up? Thank you, aloha, to the Hawaiian residents for really doing the work to get this passed. Now, it's not just Hawaiian lawmakers that are trying to really advocate for our health here. The company that we're talking about tonight is called Beauty Counter. And Beauty Counter is just like, if you can consider the lawmakers and policy enactors, people who are really looking out, a company who's really looking out for our best interests as it pertains to skin health, skin care, toxicity, skin cancer, etc. So this is all happening. We're all coming together now. This is why this is so important for you, your skin, your baby's skin, your family's skin. And please spread this word everywhere, because it's not only illegal, but it's also super unhealthy and super toxic. A study was published in October 2015 that showed that oxybenzone, which is one of the most popular UV filtering ingredients in sunscreen, it's threatening coral. So this is why Hawaiian lawmakers made this illegal, especially in tourist-heavy areas like Hawaii and the Caribbean. I don't know, are you a scuba diver, Dia? Oh, you muted yourself. No, no. Are you an ocean lover? Are you a mermaid and fish lover? And any of you guys out there, do you eat fish? This is why you should care about the coral, what's happening with the coral reefs. It's not just about our skin and being compliant. It's about our food and what's happening. The threat of this coral, this beautiful coral that I see in the ocean, and I've seen it like in the last 5 years going, what's happening to our beautiful ocean? And this is exactly what's happening. In these areas, these chemicals that we're using on our skin and spraying all over our kids are not only bad for us, but they're killing coral. It also causes early DNA damage that stunts the growth of organisms living in it. So what happens is that these traditional sun protection ingredients like oxybenzone and octinoxate, which are a mouth twister, have been known to cause deformities in baby coral, which, if these ingredients can wreak havoc on the marine ecosystem, just think of the harm they can bring to your beautiful body and your family's bodies and your future babies' bodies. So we see all these kids being born to like really awful health crises and mental deformity, physical deformities, mental health states. This is because we are so toxic. So let's not pass this on generation to generation. This bill that was just passed comes at a time when coral reefs are struggling to thrive worldwide. These super acidic oceans, think about our bodies, we're becoming extraordinarily acidic, and that's causing a lot of disease. The same thing is happening with coral. And it's caused by a lot of the climate change, by toxicity, and this is going to severely harm coral reef growth over the next few decades if carbon dioxide emissions continue unchecked. Now, there has been other studies that were passed. I'm going to go through a few of the studies here just to get you guys really informed as to why this is really important. A study published in the peer-reviewed journal Science earlier this year showed the frequency of severe coral bleaching events has increased nearly 5-fold in the past 4 decades, from once every 25 to 30 years in the early 1980s to once every 6 years in 2016. So we have lost about 70% of our coral in the Great Barrier Reef in the last 30 years, which means that the fish don't have food, which means we have less healthy fish to eat. And the main reason for all of this, according to like the Hawaiian Department of Land and Natural Resources, is that these chemicals from all the stuff that we're putting on us and swimming, they just don't break down. Just like the plastic, it does not decompose in the ocean. So depending on these areas, a lot of places in Hawaii, and we think about this beautiful place that many of us visit, they've declined between 43 and 69% between the 1970s and 2008, these coral reefs. So continuing on with what this means to you is that 25% of 800 tested sunscreens are effective at protecting your skin without the use of potentially harmful ingredients, according to Environmental Working Group, and we're going to talk about that next. So in order to classify a sunscreen as safe, sunscreens must be free of these oxybenzones and the retinol palmitate, which is a type of vitamin A, and also to not have SPF above 50. And this is something that is encompassing this number 2 in this video. If it's above 50, does it really get that much more effective? And the answer is no. So we'll get to that next. The other things the Environmental Working Group found is that 56% of beach and sport sunscreens contain this chemical oxybenzone. That's over half. No wonder we're killing the coral and the poor fish and us. So the primary function of oxybenzone is to absorb this ultraviolet light, which is harmful to our skin. But some research is actually showing that it can be absorbed through the skin, which then gets to our liver. So a lot of you guys that I'm working with and looking at your lab tests and checking for toxicity levels, we are just destroyed right now with toxicity. And the number one thing that I work with when I work with clients is to detox you so that your healthy minerals and healthy vitamins can get into your cells so that you have energy and you have hormone balance and you can get pregnant and you could have beautiful sex and sleep well and have amazing skin. Your inside skin determines your outside skin health. So if we're applying all this stuff on our skin thinking we're protecting our skin, think twice, because it goes straight into our bloodstream, it goes straight into our organs, and now our liver has to deal with all of these toxins that then have to go right back out of our skin. So let's be more conscious about this. Can we actually use sunscreens that are effective and safe for the planet and safe for us, and they actually work well when we put them on? They feel nice. The next thing is that, let's see, what was I going to say on the next point? Okay. Here it is. The Environmental Working Group and other toxicology experts believe that oxybenzone is linked to hormone disruption and potentially to cell damage that may lead to skin cancer, which, hey, the American Academy of Dermatology says oxybenzone is safe. So who's really looking out for you? We're going to talk about Environmental Working Group next, and us, because we're looking out for you. This is the last couple points here, and we'll move on to what Dia's going to show us. The Environmental Working Group also warns consumers to avoid retinol palmitate, which is in fewer sunscreens than oxybenzone. It's only in about 25% compared to 33% last year's study. So a lot of product companies are becoming more aware of this and are more conscious, but still half of them have oxybenzone in them. But as EWG states, this ingredient, retinol palmitate, vitamin A, does not make sunscreen more effective. And until definitive research is available, consumers should totally avoid this product or any product that contains retinol palmitate. Government-funded studies have found that this particular type of vitamin A may increase the risk of skin cancer when used on sun-exposed skin. So some of you guys watching, I know personally I've worked with as clients, and a lot of us are now seeing that skin cancer is one of the most common cancer that way outnumbers all other cancers. In fact, at least 1 in 5 Americans will develop skin cancer in their life, according to the American Academy of Dermatology Association. Yet they're saying that oxybenzone, which contributes to it, is safe. Interesting. So the only way to know if sunscreen has any of these two things in it is to check the label. But this EWG, the nonprofit group that we're going to talk about next, they are a company that ranks sunscreen based on the effectiveness and chemical composition. They report that zinc oxide and titanium dioxide sunscreens are usually the most environmentally friendly, are not going to contribute to this massive death and degradation of the health of coral and fish, and then us. So let's talk about that, Dia. But first of all, let me get you off of off of mute.
Am I off of mute?
Yes, I can hear you.
I didn't see the little button, so I thought maybe I was.
Yeah.
And just wow, I love just hearing all of that information in one compact little piece, because it is so much to digest, and it really puts it in perspective. And what I'm sort of adding to the conversation is how these products on the shelves, and how do you pick what's both safe for you and is going to be effective for sun protection, and then also feel good, you know, like feel nice on your skin and perform well. So as Diane said, the Environmental Working Group is really an amazing resource. It is a nonprofit group. They go through and they test products for not just intended ingredients, but also contaminants. So, you know, like we talked about last time with the heavy metals, they're the ones figuring out that there's lead in all these lipsticks. And so they really do a fabulous service. And so 2 ways to access them. One, you can go to their website, Environmental Working Group. Just Google it. Yeah.
Join us on Zoom, you guys. I just want to show them that to anybody who's on Facebook, because I couldn't add you. But I just encourage them to join us on Zoom, which I put the link on the side.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully people pop on over.
Yeah.
So you can join, you can check stuff out on your computer, but what I find to be the most useful is they have an app. It's called the Healthy Living app. It's free. You can just download it on your phone, and I keep it with me on my phone. If I'm not on Facebook, I might pop it open, since we couldn't get me up and running there.
Right.
So it is, oh, they have a new alert. It looks like that on your phone. And I keep it with me, and I will stand on a shelf and go through products, and you can put products in here and it will tell you the rating on a scale of 1 to 10 of how safe or how dangerous it is for your health. But with 10 being like, do not even touch that, right? Like that is just like, do not even get near a 10. But it breaks it down even further than that, because you can look at the concerns based on whether it's an ingredient concern, whether it's a manufacturing processing concern, whether it's an allergy concern. And even more than that, you can tap in. It shows you all the ingredients. You can tap in and see what the rating for each ingredient is. And why this matters is you might have something that is rated a 3, and you're like, 3 is not that bad. You know, like on a scale of 1 to 10, 3 isn't that bad. But then you look in it and it has one ingredient that is a 9. And that's what's drawing the entire rating, you know, from a 0 to a 3, or from a 1 to a 3. And so you get to make that choice. Do you want that product or not? So the Environmental Working Group is a really, really fantastic resource. They also have a guide on sunscreens, but you can go in, you can, so I would try and show you, but you can basically scan barcodes to figure out if the product is in there, or you can type in the product name as well. Right. One thing to note, not all products are in there. Companies have to agree to the testing. So this is something I think is really important to know, because if it's not in there, it doesn't mean it's safe. It means that the company either could be a very small new company and not, you know, kind of wise to what that means, but it could mean that they are unwilling to have their products tested. And that to me is a red flag, right? It doesn't necessarily mean it's unsafe, but I'm probably going to trust something that's willing to be tested and that the Environmental Working Group has gone through and processed and reported back on. So that's just my personal preference there. But it's a fantastic resource. You can carry it with you in your purse, in your pocket. You can go through, this is a terrifying challenge, but you can go through your cabinets and scan all your products. And my recommendation usually is, if there is something that is a 7, 8, 9, 10, please get rid of it. Just,
I even say if it's over a 3. I mean, so there's so many more things that you can do that's way better, way too many awesomeness.
Way better. But if you're overwhelmed with replacing everything at once, those ones to like pitch immediately. And then as you run out of stuff, start replacing more and more. If you can get to, you know, all ones, you're doing great. If you have a few 2 and 3s in there, fine. But yeah, I think 3 and under is a good rule of thumb on that.
Yes, absolutely. And it's a handy app. My phone sucks because apparently I'm supposed to get like the 7 because I updated my 6S to the new operating system. So you guys know how that goes, right? Everything just crashes if you don't get the new 7. So this is how my technology life has been lately. It just does this. So maybe, Dia, you can help me with that while I go over the last couple of points here, and we can open it up to questions. Hey, Kate, I just saw you were on here. So mine's still searching. Just like most people, right? Most people are searching for great sunscreen. And even EWG is like, I can't give you an answer, but Dia and Diane will. So all of you guys who are watching who want to go grab one of your sunscreens, is a great opportunity to go into your app store and download EWG. And you can download it. It probably won't take as long as my phone, but when you get on there, you can type in the name of your sunscreen or scan that barcode. What I always say is if you scan the barcode and it doesn't show anything, then they're not being transparent. That company's not being transparent. And would you rather be with somebody who's cheating on you or somebody who's with you and transparent that they're not? And so this is kind of an equivalent question, is like, if there's a company that just does proprietary ingredients, or they're just not even listing the ingredients totally, and they're like, it's our own formula, I just can't stand behind that anymore, when we have so many companies like Beautycounter that are like, hey, here's our ingredients and we are proud that these are our ingredients. So if you stick with one company that's looking out for you in all of these regards, then it's so much less work. You're like, I know this company is taking care of me. And that's what I love about Beautycounter. And we'll talk about that next, what we do as far as like our best practices. So let's move on to this next one, which is that Safe Sexy Skin is made simple. Oh no, I wanted to cover this one more thing before we moved on to that one. Just on the SPF. So a lot of people are like, oh, the higher the better, right? Bigger, better, stronger, faster. Yes. No, it doesn't work. Now we're getting back into like, what's effective? So it's really misleading when these companies put high SPF numbers on labels, because it gives we, the consumer, a false sense of security, and it doesn't offer a lot more protection, especially for that false sense of security. And they're totally right, because SPF 85 may sound like a lot more protection than SPF 30. And like, we think the higher number is better, but it doesn't always give a higher return. And in fact, studies are showing that sunscreen with SPF higher than 15 or SPF 15 can block at about 93% of all incoming UVB rays. But SPF 30 only gives us 4% more. It only blocks 97%. And then if you go up to 50, it only blocks 98%. So there's a 5% margin from SPF 15 to SPF 50, which is just not that much, considering that there's that much more chemical ingredient to the product. Generally, I always say if it's advertised on TV, it's probably not good for me. If it's advertised in like the general magazines, or if it's talked about by the common dermatologist, they're typically, they're taken out to lunch to talk about it. They're given free samples. So there's a lot of conflict of interest here. Now you, the consumer, get to be an intelligent, informed chooser for your own safety of your own temple and your family. These protective factors, they plateau when you go higher than 50, because when you get to the SPF 100, it only blocks about 99.1% of the UVB rays. So you don't really need a higher number, you guys. They end up becoming a lot more expensive, and they don't offer more protection than SPF 50. You may have heard that before. Anything over 50 just doesn't even make sense. And SPF only blocks UVB rays anyway. So I also think that it's important to make mention to the fact that we actually need some sun. So the sun gives us about 70 to 80% of our energy every day, which is why that some people who don't have sun during the day, they just don't, they're not as in a good of a mood. We have that like seasonal affected SAD, seasonal affected disorder. And I have a lot of acronyms in my head. And I see that a lot with my clients who are in areas that just don't have a lot of sun. So they take vitamin D or whatever. We don't need to block a lot of that sun at that time. So we want to block just enough and be protective enough. So let's talk about some strategies now on what Dia and I do on a day-to-day basis. And then also a new product that Beautycounter just launched, which we're really excited about. I got a lot of press and magazines on exactly why it's awesome and how you can travel with it. It's also TSA friendly. All these acronyms today. So the first one I just want to talk about, which is one of my favorites, is the Dew Skin, and this has SPF 20 on it. This is moisture. It's moisturizing, and it's got a little bit of tint on it. So I don't even use, I used to use a lot of makeup on my face to cover things up, but I think that there's a way that you can block the harmful rays, and then also just use this instead of I used to use a foundation, and I don't use that anymore. I just use this like as my lotion and as my foundation, and then I put a little bit of powder over it, and it's just enough, or maybe a little bit of bronzer, and it's super hydrating. It feels amazing on the skin. In fact, that's the number one thing that we've heard, is that this just feels like velvet going on your skin. And if you look at the ingredients and you look at this product on EWG, you can Google it right now, Dew Skin Beautycounter. You'll see that what Dia is like a 1 or a 2. One. Yeah, one. It's number one. So this is one of them. I take this everywhere. I took this to Peru. I do this to Costa Rica, where there's a lot of sun, and I protected my skin. At the same time, got some nice rays in to help us activate energy. So Dia, can we talk about the other one that we just rolled out, which is the aerosol? Not as good as a cream or the stick, which I think are my favorites.
Yeah. So, and I have the stick over there, so I might need to like run over and get the stick.
That's cool.
But, actually what's really exciting about the sprays become my favorite, which I've always been a lotion or stick person. But it's not aerosol. They came up with a safe technology that doesn't require any chemicals. So the whole thing with, you know, when you use the sprays, there's been a lot of bad press about sprays because you're also inhaling all of these chemicals. And so if you look for, you know, we have a safe product in here, and then they created an inflatable airbag that pushes up to expel the sunscreen. So all that's happening in here is air. When you press down, it inflates the bag and out comes the sunscreen.
So if you spray it in your face, that makes you an airhead.
It makes you an airhead.
Okay, cool. I just want to clarify.
But it's really remarkable because I think especially people with kiddos kind of want the spray to just go fast. And what I've found with this product is, and I was using it all weekend in Yosemite. I was hiking, I was in the direct sun all day. Don't look burned, you know, it really worked well. But it also, I kept making my boyfriend like feel my face because it just felt like silky and soft.
Pet me.
I didn't get grimy. You know how like sometimes sunscreens can feel really heavy and grimy. Just like you feel that they're all like, my skin felt fantastic. So this is a new formulation, Counter Sun. It has California poppy in it, so it's also full of antioxidants. It's UVA and UVB defense, but it also blocks blue light, which is something that's aging us. So, and if you're not familiar with blue light, like talk to Diane, because I know that she loves her amber goggles. She loves.
Yeah. Come on, hold on a second.
And I totally do the amber goggles too. I love that.
I love that you say goggles.
I call them goggles.
They're glasses.
Yours are more glasses. I could go get mine. Mine are more goggles.
How smart I look now.
Mine go around myself.
Oh, yours are officially goggles. If you guys are interested in where I get these, you can go on my website, dianekaiser.com, and click on shop, and it's like Dia's favorites in the top right, and you can see them on there, Swanson, and you get a deal on it. Check it out. But yeah, it's true. Blue lights are not healthy for us. So I'm just going to keep these on because it feels good.
So we are, I believe, first to market in having blue light blockers in our sunscreen.
Nice.
Which is really exciting.
And
so, sorry.
No, and there's just like, there needs to be more people that are made aware of this. We just launched this, you guys. So all of you guys who are listening, you're the first to know about this company, about the product launch. If you go to, follow the link, and I'll put this all on the side so you guys can go in there now and you can see what things to buy. beautycounter.com/Diane Kaiser. And you can shop with me. If you have any questions, let me know. But do you have a stick too? Do you want to go run and get the stick?
I'll go get the stick. And while I'm doing that, I'll talk a little bit about the lotion. I just have a little sample.
Oh, that's cool.
Launched, and I haven't received my full one yet, but that means I have gotten to try it and feel the consistency of it.
Right.
And it is incredible. So again, as far as lotions go, we should probably warn you guys that I have to get into my hiking pack here because this is where I keep
socks.
my sunscreen stick stays in my hiking pack. One of them. I keep one in my purse. I keep one in my hiking pack. Keep one in my work bag.
Yeah, good ideas.
I keep it everywhere. But so the stick is solid, great for travel, great to kind of throw in a bag, always have it. And I apply it literally directly onto my face. And it's just such an easy, you just go around. If you don't want to get your hands all sunscreened, really great resource.
Yeah.
What was I saying about
you were going in your bag and you get the little tiny cream and you said you were going to go in your bag.
Oh no, what I was going to say is that if you are new to mineral sunscreen, so one thing to think about sunscreen is there's sort of chemical-based sunscreens and then there's mineral-based sunscreens. Chemical-based sunscreens are waiting for a reaction to happen inside your body, in your bloodstream. So that's why it says put it on 30 minutes before you go in the sun, because you need it to get the chemical reaction happening. And that's how it works. Mineral is literally a block against the sun. So it's more of a barrier protection. And so what that can mean is that oftentimes the mineral ones are heavier and like can feel a little greasy. I remember when these first came out and I was like, oh yeah, I want the like, you know, the zinc ones and the mineral ones, but they just felt heavy and greasy. Do you remember this, Diane? Like,
oh, well, I feel like somebody asked me this question, and this is not like about comparing and competing brands, you guys, and being like, oh, they're bad and we're good. It's, I used to use Badger, and I would put it on my skin. I tried all the different kinds, and it was just so greasy. It felt like it blocked my pores. And I don't know exactly the comparison of content between ours and theirs and like whatever, but if it go by feeling, and I remember that being something all day I was like this. I was like, ugh.
the mineral ones tend to be a lot heavier and denser because they're creating that barrier. So what Beauty
Right.
Counter has done, which is incredible, they've created a lotion and a spray and a stick that feel good. Like I actually would put this on my skin at night. It feels so good. I wouldn't because I don't need it at night, but it feels soft. It feels smooth. It's feels moisturizing for the skin, not greasy, not heavy at all. So, I mean, test out some different mineral brands for yourself, but my experience has definitely been that the Beauty Counter stuff is just bonkers in how it performs.
Bonkers, totally. I can't wait to try it. I know that because I trust Beauty Counter and all the products that they have, this has gone on really smooth, and it's been very difficult over the last, I've been on a quest to find it this good of a product for literally 8 years. And I just went through like Sarah, who's listening here and introduced me to Beauty Counter, I just went on a tear and just started throwing away all this stuff. And the reason being is that, you know, you start trying one, you're like, I'm kind of hooked and this feels really good. And how cool is it that you can trust one company for everything and you don't have to go on EWG and check like a million different products. And it's just a lot of work. So like Dia said, one at a time. What's that?
I'm lazy.
What?
I said, I'm lazy.
Yeah, that too. I mean, I don't even know if the word is lazy. It's just like, I would rather be doing other things with my time. You know, I would rather be traveling the world or hanging out on the beach, which is right there, or whatever, serving you guys and creating new content and doing more research. So we're going to close the call now. If you guys have any questions, please put it on the side in the chat box. And then we can get to your questions now or later. If you guys are watching this video later, then feel free to email me, Diane@dianekaiser.com. And I can help you customize it, like whichever thing it is that you want, and also help you guys get discounts too, because we had a special for this SPF over the weekend. Obviously, it was Memorial Day weekend when we launched it, and it got a ton of press. There was like a huge free product. So if you want to be in the know and make sure that you know about these specials, follow me on Diane Kaiser Wellness on my business page. And then also get on my newsletter list, which you can go to dianekaiser.com/starter-kit. And download the free book there. That might be an active link later on, but for now, you guys get a free ebook download with some really awesome information about Beauty Counter, about essential oils. There's all kinds of recipes in there too. It's like huge. It's a huge ebook that I wrote for you guys. So we're gonna start tuning out now, unless there's other questions that roll in. But Do Skin, go ahead, Tia.
I just wanted to add, even though the Memorial Day special is over, I believe that we are still. So since the launch, and again, guys, this just launched. It's huge. It's amazing.
Right.
But since the launch, and I believe for the whole month of May, every sunscreen product that you order, $1 is being donated to stand up against cancer.
Thank you. And I'm so glad that we chose that instead of Susan B. Komen, because Susan B. Komen does not really use a lot of the money that we donate to them for cancer research. It's like only, I don't know how much it is, 3 to 5%. It's just not enough. So I love what Beauty Counter represents too, which is another reason why I chose to align with this company, these amazing women on the call today, including Dia, including Sarah, is because there's a lot of advocacy and it's about protecting our people. So it's about policy, it's about protection, it's about our planet, not profits first. So there's not very many companies that put us forward and really link arms and connect with a bunch of people wide so we can deliver this truth to everyone. I would say in about 5 years, the Beauty Counter is going to be like one of the top cosmetic and skincare lines used in the nation. And if I have anything to do with it, I know you want to, Dia, Sarah, Melissa, and everybody else who's listening, Kate, who's in the call. out of people who are on the call who have been purchasing Beautycounter products. It's been one of the biggest hits in my practice. So just to summarize today, if you guys want to take some action, the bottom line is that we get it. It's really easy to get overwhelmed with all the sunscreen options on store shelves that you see in magazines, on TV. And mostly if you're at like these quick and easy marts, they're not going to be advocating anything healthy. It's going to be all the big corporation things, Johnson & Johnson or whatever. And they're just mostly not healthy for you. If it's like, if you know the brand, it's probably not going to be healthy for you. So this is the stuff that's coming out of mainstream. And just to summarize the topics we talked about today, a quick guide, a few quick takeaways to find the best products out there to protect you and your family from the sun, or at least the harmful aspects of the sun, lengthen exposure, as well as coral, as the fish, all the mermaids and all the mermen that are out there. I asked, where have all the men gone? And it's because, all the mermaids are dying. All the mermen men are dying from all the chemicals. That's where they went. That's the answer. And here's what I recommend you guys, just to summarize. We talked about using sunscreen with at least a minimum of SPF 15. Don't go over 50. It's not necessary. Second is to use EWG to check your labels and make sure that they list the UVA and UVB for protection. And also avoid products that contain the oxybenzone and the retinol palmitate, which are the two most toxic ones, especially if you're concerned about potentially toxic chemicals. I will also link to my article that I wrote on the other four ingredients that Hawaii is banning as of 2021. So we've got 3 years to be on top of this, but since you know this now, why wait till the ban? You know how harmful these things are to you in the coral anyway, so let's just do it now. Choose lotions, ideally over spray, and the one that Dio is talking about is not aerosol, because you want more of an even distribution. And if you want to protect yourself the most, apply 2 ounces of the lotion. It's like about a shot glass full, and reapply throughout the day. You want to get about 30 minutes of the sun between the hours of 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You do it without being protected. But of course, that's different for each person. If you've had skin cancer in the past, it might be a different story. But we want you guys to be protected. We want you to be informed. And we want to get these healthy products in the hands of you and your loved ones. So make sure that you spread the word about this and share with your loved ones. If you guys have any questions on which products are the best for you, again, reach out to me, Diane at DianeKaiser.com. We will be doing another video next month at the same time, same place. It'll be the last Tuesday of every month we talk about these things. So if you guys have any questions prior to, you'd like to ask about cosmetics, skincare, or protection, SPF in general, let me know. I'm always listening. On Facebook, you can message me or Diane at DianeKaiser.com. And if you guys are wondering, the colors I'm wearing on my face right now, this is the color I have on my eyes, which, remember, Dia, I was like, oh no, I'm allergic to it.
Yeah.
And I worked on really fixing my gut and clearing out a lot of metals that I had, and now I'm not sensitive to it. And it's not that this is toxic, but some people have really sensitivities to products on their skin, and that's why I went to Beautycounter, because they had like so many chemicals that were not included in these things. So this is what I'm wearing on my eyes. It's like a smoky color. And then I'm wearing this new one that we just did a presentation on last month, and it's this one's a little black dress on my lips. So that's the color I'm wearing on my lips. And that's the color stay, and it lasts long. I love these things. And that's it. It can be that basic, and my dew skin. So that's it, you guys. Any questions, let me know. Anybody who is wanting to get the best bang for their buck, let me know too, because there's packages and there's kits and there's, like kind of Costco style membership where you pay $29 and you get 15% off and 15% toward, more products in the future, and you get like a free $40 product for signing up. So if there's any of that sounds interesting and appealing to you, and America or Canada are currently the places that we have and we're distributing to. If you're a health coach or somebody else like that really wants to talk to your clients about keeping your toxin levels low, this is by far and away one of the ones that women are just, they don't know. They just don't know how much lead they're putting in their lips, how much of this oxybenzo and retinol palmitate they're putting on their face, their kids. So this is the job of a liver. And what I'm hearing on most of the clients that are coming to me now is that their liver enzymes are 3 to 4 times higher in the last year because of this level of toxicity. Our body can't take it anymore. Our coral can't take it anymore. Mother Earth can't take it anymore. Mother Earth is saying something to us, and it's time for us to listen. She's telling us all that this toxicity needs to end, and it starts now if we have anything to do with it. So Dia, any closing thoughts?
No, I think that wrapped it up beautifully. And, just do once you know better, just do a little better.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't have to be overnight, you guys. You don't have to go spend $10,000 replacing everything, which is what most people want to do. Just a little bit at a time, like Dia said, one at a time. Yeah, Diane Kaiser is my handle. So if you go to beautycounter.com/Diane Kaiser, you could do some shopping. And if you're like, oh, what color, what combo, that's where we can help you. And I also have a link that I can send to you guys if you want to get on the phone and talk about it. I have a link where we can get on the phone and talk for about 15 minutes and figure out what's right for you. So I'll be your shopper. Cool. Have an amazing day, evening, whatever, life. And let's look out for our body, our cuerpo, and let's look out for our coral. And the happier Mother Earth is, the happier we are, and vice versa. So thanks everybody for watching. Thank you, Dia, for all of your wisdom here tonight. And we will look forward to seeing you guys next month in June when we talk about a totally different topic. So bye, everybody.
Bye.